Ackerson. This is a good spot?
Yeah.
Mind all in the shade? Okay.
You want to get my name before you go too, so we don't have to do it in the
We'll
middle?
have you do it when you go.
Okay.
And you're captain, right?
Deputy Fire Chief.
Deputy Fire Chief.
Okay, just let's go ahead and start, and just tell us what happened.
Good afternoon. This afternoon at about 2:15 p.m., we got called to the home at 329 East, 1825 North on report of a home invasion. A male entered the home containing a few elderly people with gasoline and claims to have a knife. He ended up igniting the gasoline and then exiting the home where he attempted to burglarize some vehicles. He then re-entered the home and barricaded himself in the home. At about that time, officers arrived. They interacted with him. There were taser deployments, and he was taken into custody, and he was transported to the hospital. The three elderly victims ended up with some blunt force trauma injuries, and a couple were transported to area hospitals with non-life-threatening, non-serious injuries.
What do we know about the suspect?
Suspect is, at this point, all we're releasing is that he's a 37-year-old white male. There are reports that he'd been in the area earlier, possibly attempting to burglarize or steal vehicles and acting erratically.
And then, do we know anything about motive? Did he know the people who lived in this house, or was it random?
I don't know anything about that at this point. There's no indication, though, that he did know them.
Can you tell us about the initial part of the confrontation? He comes inside carrying gallons of gas?
That is correct.
And then is there a confrontation?
There is a confrontation, a physical confrontation between them where the elderly victims were assaulted, and then a fire was started.
Did he announce what his intents were, his intentions were?
Yeah, it is my understanding that he made it very clear that he was going to burn the house down with them inside of it.
Can you tell us about the injuries that they suffered? You said blunt force injuries.
Yeah, injuries consistent with being struck by something.
Do you know what he used?
Not this time.
Can you just describe that scene when your officers get here? It must have been very chaotic, and they just immediately confronted him and tased him?
Correct. I mean, they ran into the burning house. It was occupied, and so there was a confrontation in there with the house filled with smoke. We did have 6 officers who were treated or are currently being treated right now for smoke inhalation.
Do you have the ages of the victims?
I do not, other than they were elderly, yes.
As the lieutenant, you've got to be pretty proud of your officers. I mean, obviously a very chaotic scene, a crazy scene, but...
Absolutely. I was driving into the area while it was happening and listening to them on the radio as they engaged with the suspect and try to make sense of a very chaotic scene.
How did he get in the house?
I don't know that.
So we swap out and
Right.
speak with fire?
Yeah, so at this point, yeah, we'll have fire talk about their part of it.
Maybe let's just step over here and swap the mic.
I'll just start pulling them off.
Okay. What's that?
I don't know that. What do you anticipate?
Thank you.
Probably at a minimum aggravated.
One more, you got one more.
I think that one's ours. Yeah, perfect.
I'll wait for you to step over here because this one's wired up.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Let's do the one right here. Thank you.
Sorry, boss, I'm just going to pickpocket.
You're good.
So
Or
when
make
he's
it a
done,
positive.
I'd want to make a statement as well. Wonderful. Thank you. get close to you a little bit.
I'm good.
Ready?
Down there or over there?
Is everybody okay? Yeah. Ready? Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and just name, spelling, and title. Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Dave Powers, South Davis Metro Fire, Deputy Fire Chief, POWERS.
Okay, just walk us through. I mean, obviously your fire crews had to step into a hot one here.
Yeah, this call came in through the police department of a fire that had started as a result of a home invasion. Our first crews arrived and found a home heavily involved in fire. The police had told them at that time that they had all people out. Very heroic efforts on the police department to get those people out, which allowed us to focus on the fire and putting the fire out. We determined based on the condition of the fire that it was a defensive fire right off the bat, and along with solar panels, which add some difficulty in putting out fires as well. Our primary concern was not only the home fire, but the hillside. As you can see, the home sits fairly close to that, and so we did have them put out some spot fires. We did have some minor damage to the home to the west of this, and we did protect all exposures. We had 3 fire engines respond, 1 truck, and then additional resources come from neighboring departments of Farmington and Kaysville for a total of about 35 firefighters. And then we had Salt Lake Fire Department backfill our stations.
It seems pretty clear that there was some accelerant use. That's what the police said. What leads you to believe that?
That's what we were told upon dispatch, is that there was some accelerant used, and our guys knew that on arrival. And we came into it with eyes wide open based on the dangerous circumstances of the assailant being there. And so one of the benefits of this department and the police departments that we work with is we have great working relationships with them all. And so the ability to work as a team upon arrival was paramount, and that's what took place on this fire.
Neighbors reported some explosions. Can you tell us what those might be?
Nothing that I'm aware of. We did have the home that was completely destroyed, along with a really nice motorhome next to it. We're estimating damages about $1.2 million.
Did it spread to any other homes?
Very minor damage to the home to the west here, that's right behind me.
2 homes, or?
This home to the west and the one to the east, we were able to protect with no damage to it.
How many alarms was this fire?
We went to a second alarm.
Took how long to extinguish it?
It took about 45 minutes to really get it knocked down. Right now they're just putting out hot spots, and because of the extensive nature of it, there will be considerable overhaul.
Did it start in the front or the back? Where, do you know where?
I'm not aware of where it started.
How does it change your approach, knowing what you guys were told, like accelerants as you're going in?
So that's where the teamwork comes in, and where the police department gave us the go. And when our guys arrived, they got the go from the police to go ahead, and that's what caused them to move forward with the attack of the fire.
And what's next with as far as determining the cause and things?
So despite the way that it came in, we'll do a full investigation. We have investigators on scene that will work closely with Centerville Police Department and the crime lab as far as working forward towards a possible prosecution if there is one.
Is this unique, I guess? I mean, a situation like this?
Yeah, in a fire situation it's unique, but we deal with these types of situations in medical where police have to clear the scene for us to go in. So we understand the process and work well in that situation.
Okay. And Chief Child wants to make a statement.